Hello, everybody. Welcome. Oh my gosh. I am so jazzed, y'all. I'm so pumped to gather all these incredible players here for some flabbergasted action. And not just flabbergasted action, but, well, we're unveiling a little sneak peek at the brand new expansion Mystified, which I'm gonna drop a little linky link down into the chat for anyone who wants to be notified for when the backer kit will drop. But anyone who has not looked into the game proper yet, Flabbergasted, oh my gosh, I'm dropping another link if y'all want to get on it because it has been one of my favorite games to run, one of my favorite games to play. And I just want to give a big thanks to the Wanderer's Tome for one, creating such a magnificent game and expansion, and for allowing me to play it, allowing me to run it. So thank y'all so much. And to y'all in the chat, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate y'all so much. And look, before we get things going, before we get started with our magnificent murder mystery adventure, well, let's introduce the most important part. Of course, our cast. And in this case, I'll need your name, your pronouns, anything you have to promote, and then your character name and character pronouns. I won't need a description of your character just yet. We'll get into that once we get into the club. But let's kick things off with M and Nate on deck.
All right, sounds good. Hey everyone, my name is M. I'm the GM, Anthrama. Some people call me that nerd. Floating around on the internet, guesting in as many games as I can get my grubby little hands on. I am a TTRPG enthusiast and game designer. I recently became a copper bestseller on Drive-Thru RPG for Arium Flash.
Oh my
So definitely
gosh.
go check that out if you play a lot of games. It's a collection of 120 one-shots from 24 global authors, so we've got a lot of amazing perspectives in there. And I am playing. Oh, sorry, my pronouns are she, her. My character's pronouns are she, her, and her name is Viv Bianchi. She's gonna be a delight, I'm sure.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Let's go over to Nate with Caitlin on deck.
Hi everyone, my name is Nate. Pronouns are he, him. Occasional GM, here, there, everywhere, I guess is probably the best way to put it. You can find me mostly on High Shelf Collective at the moment, GMing a fun game of die RPG with, hey, our wonderful GM tonight, Matt, who's in my game.
Yes!
Wonderful.
So much trauma.
So much, yes. It's an emotional game, I'm sorry. At least you're having fun with it. That makes me happy. And funny enough, I actually just got to GM Flabbergasted this week for the first time, so really excited to get to play it. I've had the book for a bit. Tonight I'll be playing Douglas Marlowe, he, him.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Nate. Let's go over to Caitlin with Milo on deck.
Hey everybody, I am Caitlin. I use she, her pronouns. I am a GM. I am a writer for Stage Screen Audio and Games. You can find me at Kenny, Kenney Plays, Plays, on Linktree, Instagram, and Twitter. If you need something written, come hit me up. Or if you're in Brooklyn and you want to play a game in person, I work at a game shop in Brooklyn called The Last Place on Earth. Come on by. I'd love to run a game for you. Yes, and tonight I am playing Arthur Bornales, she, her pronouns.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Caitlin. And finally, last but certainly not least, Milo.
Hello, my name is Milo. This is my little dude. I'm so proud of him. I just drew him this week. You can find me at Battastic on YouTube. I'm also Bluebug Arcade. I like to create, so drawing, writing, all the things, written a few games, some fan games too for the Owl House, just having fun. I have the same pronouns as my character, so he, they. I'm playing Froglet. Froglet is just a nerdy, weird dude with some fun connections who really, really, really likes frogs.
Let's go. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Milo. And I'm Matt, he, him pronouns, and I'll be playing everyone else. So I'm super pumped, super jazzed, and well, let's take it away, y'all. Oh my goodness. We're gonna zoom in to the wonderful city of Peccadillo in the nebulous northeast US or UK, depending. So it's one, the other, both. We'll see. But as we zoom in on one very special social club, the social club of our focus this evening, the bookmarks. And as we zoom in, we'll first focus on Vivian Bianchi in the social club. What is a normal day look like for you? What are you doing at this very moment? What are you reading? What do you look like? Take it away, Em.
Viv is perpetually late. So she is probably half walking, half running down the street towards the club to burst in the doors at the last minute. I'm not late. I'm here. Did you guys start without me or what? She looks a little bit windblown. Her hair's longer than maybe the current style, but she's got it tamed down with tons and tons of product and this fancy little band to keep it in place. She tosses her jacket aside, pulls a book out of her her bag, and then says, "Ah, shit, I forgot the right one. We're not reading Mysteries of the Heart tonight, are we?"
Fantastic. Okay. With such a grand entrance, I'm gonna shift over to Douglas. Douglas, what is your state of being at the moment in the social club as Viv just barely burst in? What does Douglas look like?
Douglas is an older man, around like early 40s. So like I had it at 42, but could also be 43 possibly. This is always funny because on camera I'm just thinking the opposite. Very much a nice bit of hair, swept back, done perfectly swept back. He is wearing a brown tweed jacket as well as tweed pants. It is the most typical looking university professor look of the 1920s you can imagine, down to the tie, down to the shoes. And what I imagine Douglas is doing is they're already at the club. So before Viv walked in, they're probably just sitting down and there's like five stack of books, like just five on top of one another on a table right next to them. And I'm having that wonderful decision-making problem of just being like, I can't figure out which one to read next. And I don't know which one we were supposed to read either. So when Viv walks in with saying the wrong book, I'm like, oh, thank God it's not just me.
Great. Excellent. Okay. So, with seemingly two of our members of the bookmarks unsure of which is the correct reading material, perhaps we might find enlightenment from our next member, Arthur. Caitlin, what is Arthur doing? What does Arthur look like?
Arthur, like waking up with a start from a nap, drool caked on her cheek, dried on, just kind of wiping it off, looking at the sun beaming through the window after a late night of tending bar, pulls out a flask and downs a little more, hair of the dog. And just she is an older woman in her 60s with what would have been black hair before, now graying mostly, that she keeps in a pretty messy bun. She immediately upon waking rewrites her flat cap that she always wears, kind of straightens out her shirt, tightens up her tie, looks around the space. Need to get to the bookmarks! Grabs her cane and remembers before she goes out the door the book She turns around to grab it, and sees 2 books sitting on the desk. Was it Mysteries of the Heart or The Philanderer's Dilemma? I'm not. She takes both of them, tucks them under her arm, and tries to read them as she walks to club, just to flip through and get like bullet points to have both on hand.
Great. Excellent. Okay, so then like maybe shortly after Viv burst in, that is when Arthur comes in with 2 books in hand, ready to rock. And maybe we'll find the answer. Fingers crossed. As we jump over to Froglet, Milo, what does Froglet look like? Does Froglet have a book? Do they have any idea of which is the right one?
So, I imagine that Froglet is just dressed very practical, is a pretty like straightforward person. So he likes frogs, so clothes that he can look for frogs in. So I guess maybe a decent pair of shorts, a decent shirt, nothing too fancy. His quirkiness I see kind of show up in his appearance with his hair. I imagine that he keeps himself very bald because he wants to feel the rain like the frogs do. So it's about hair possible on his head. He walks in holding a frog, not a book. Like, I haven't seen this one in this area in a few months. I think this is great for the ecosystem. There's no book, just a frog.
Phenomenal. Okay. So, in this case, as the 4 of you are getting like set up, I'd say perhaps another member of the club. This member tends to be perhaps a little bit more, like he's got a stick up his butt. His name is Gerald, and he strides across to where y'all are sitting, and he says, "So, did any of you remember what book it was supposed to be?"
Gerald, I thought you were supposed to be the one keeping track of these things. You can't put that sort of pressure on us. Come on now, that's not very considerate.
But I assigned a book in the newsletter.
Well, if you wrote the newsletter, then you should know what book you wrote down.
I do know. I need you to know.
I do know. I'm just testing you.
Okay, then what is it?
That's not how tests work, you silly goosa. Is Arthur here? Arthur, you could deal with this man. I can't keep him.
I'm just saying, if you expect us to read your newsletter every week, Gerald, you have to make the print a bit bigger, because I have a hard time these days with the small print you've got going on there.
I'm sorry.
I can't believe you're giving Arthur a hard time. It's not acceptable.
You think one would respect your elders at this point, Gerald? Truly.
Respect your elders, Gerald. That's not his name. I think it's not Gerald.
Gerald seems to be getting a little flustered, and he starts jotting down notes as he's apologizing to Arthur. I'm so sorry. I should have remembered.
Wait, is your name Gerald or Jared?
My name is Gerald.
Oh, okay. No, I've been calling you Jared for so long.
It's okay. It's okay. One day I'll earn the L. But Douglas, Froglet, do you have the book?
I give a very panicked expression, like, well, I read a chapter. I'm just gonna go with it. I just read a chapter from each. Does that count? They were all really good.
Credit, yeah.
Yeah.
Extra credit.
I'm not sure which one was which, but it worked. It was fun.
I think Froglin's like looking around, trying to read the room. I really did like Frankenstein. It was really good.
Frankenstein is really
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Right, Douglas?
Yeah, it's actually one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Mine too. Okay. You know what? I need to take a little walk. I'm sorry. And
You take some time, Gerald.
yeah,
guess so.
I'll remember and he'll point to Arthur. I'll remember next time. I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. You're forgiven already. Just, I believe in you, Gerald.
Thank you. And he's gonna like kind of speed off to the door, and he'll step outside, and you'll just hear just a little sigh from outside, like a
Oh.
ah. But
Have a nice walk, Jared.
yeah, I will. All right.
I love that guy.
Seriously, though, does anyone know which book we were supposed to read?
No fucking
No.
clue.
No idea. Truly.
I tried again.
When I saw Froglet come in with a frog, I was certain I wasn't even. Were we reading a frog? I don't know. Every week it changes.
Wait,
I
does
should've
the
gone
frog have a
around.
story to tell? Because I'm here for a story from a frog.
This is actually a very common frog, and he puts it back outside.
What, did you realize partway through what's going on here?
I didn't have the book, and so I just had to have something. So I just like, well, you know.
We'll
Well,
get
I
that
guess we
normal
better hop
fucking
to it.
frog out of here.
Hey, we'll start things off strong with that pun, Nate. I'm gonna give you a lucky coin. Yes, anytime, y'all. Anytime that y'all make a roll. Let's say your culture and etiquette didn't quite go the way you wanted. You can decide to use your lucky coin, flip a coin. It might give you a chance for a little success here and there, but we'll see. We'll see how things go. But as y'all are discussing the nature of frogs and forgotten books, you would hear the little flit of something slide under the door, and then a very violent knocking before the sound of a very fast vehicle speed away.
That was a strange series of events.
Certainly.
Wicked weird. I've got to pick up the letter.
Great. So, Douglas, if you
Yeah.
pick this up, it's not a sealed envelope, but I'm going to send in our Discord, and I'm also going to show on our on the stream a little note. If you wouldn't mind reading that out loud for me, Nate.
By all means, yeah, no worries. A celebration of life. You are cordially invited to the delightful birthday of the Duchess Clementine. Please come bear witness to the beautiful ultimate birthday of the Duchess. And it has balloons on one side, a crown on the other side.
Fantastic. And I'll also say that on the back is the address, which I neglected to write down, but y'all know where it is. It is the Duchess Clementine's abode, which everyone knows where it is in town. It is one of the most beautiful mansions in Peccadillo. One of the places that will catch your eye. Sometimes for good reasons, as far as how opulent and extravagant it is. Other times, it can be a little odd when you see a new expansion on one side that completely clashes with the rest of the house.
Well, an invite.
I hand it up to whoever wants to grab it, the note.
An invite from a duchess. That's quite an invite. Exciting, yes? Should we be excited about this?
Oh my god. I have never been to anything with the name Ultimate in it. I'm so excited.
All right, I guess it's what are you all calling it? Viv, the cat's paws. Is that the phrasing
Arthur, you
they're
keep so
using
up
that?
to date with the lingo.
I try. I'm working the bar. That just picking up what I can from the youth.
Sounds like a real humdinger of a time.
Truly,
Truly.
just absolutely yes, indeedy. All right, are we? I don't know that I'm dressed appropriately for a shindig such as this. You think?
I don't think I am either.
Well, when is the birthday? It doesn't even say on this slip of paper.
Oh,
Doesn't say.
Oh,
our first mystery. Our first mystery.
okay. So this is perfect because I did also have a little redemption of create a problem for the players. So what's gonna happen here? Thank you very much, Noelle. I appreciate you. As y'all are discussing this, Gerald is gonna burst back in through the door, and you'll see that his entire outfit, which is a button-up plaid shirt, khaki pants, and it's soaked from head to toe. And he says, did anyone see that car that sped by?
I heard it. It seems like you felt it. Are you doing okay there, Jared?
Maybe we cancel book club tonight. I'm just not feeling. And then he notices what you're holding. And he says, wait a second. That's the stationery of, well, the Blackwood estate. They're famous for it.
For the stationery?
Yeah. They're infamous for it. They're the only ones that have this type of stationery.
Tell me exactly what's special about it.
Well, it's said that each and every piece is hand woven and kissed by Lady Clementine herself.
I immediately kissed this paperback.
Oh.
I've officially shared DNA with Lady Clementine.
Yeah. What is that? Did you get an invite?
We all did. You should put on some better clothes. Look at yourself. You're a mess.
Yeah, there should be a change in the other room, Gerald. Just makes it
Okay.
easier. Don't have to track in water.
I'll catch up with you, but the party is started.
What?
I already saw fireworks in the sky.
Fireworks?
Wow,
Yeah.
that's quite an event.
Yeah, you're gonna have to get there fast. And as a result of creating a problem, y'all are late to the party.
Oh no!
Fashionably late.
That's
Yes, exactly.
good point. You never want to be the first one. You never.
Yeah.
Yeah. How
So
far away is it from where we are?
Truly, are we walking? Do we? Does anyone have a vehicle?
question. Well, I'll say this, y'all. How would you normally travel if it were a greater distance? Because I would say this, Arthur, you spent a lot of time on your feet today, so
Yeah.
maybe it wouldn't be great to run the 7 blocks or so.
Yeah, I'm not running at all these days. Someone can run with me on their back if we're gonna run. I imagine I would take like the trolley or whatever other public transport. I don't know that a public transport's gonna run to the Duchess's estate, but
Arthur, do you
I
want to
feel
share
like
a cab?
Yeah, is that or I feel like I would have a car.
Oh.
the prof's got a
Ooh.
car.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like Yeah, I feel like that would make sense because I would not live in where the university area is. I would live in like a more nicer, like a quieter residential area, not near the students, even though I like the students.
Fair. I get it. Okay, cool. In that case, Douglas, are you very good at driving your car?
I am an acceptable driver.
Okay, excellent. I
Not saying that's good, not saying that's bad. Just
all right,
down the
middle of the road. So in that case, I would like to ask you. You are late. Are you going to risk speeding, or are you going to drive? The regular speed limits.
Viv is definitely heckling you.
I was just gonna ask what the other's response would be, like how quickly do we want to get there? I would assume really fast.
Yeah, I think as Viv's heckling, I'll start like banging my cane on the side to also like add to the heckle. Let's go!
Well,
Put your foot down.
So is it?
I also feel like for Froglet, I'd be like I would be telling you totally bring one of your frogs. That would be a great hoot at the party.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Starts looking in bushes. What moist places.
We all get ready to get in the car.
How many could I bring?
Just
3 at most.
free problem.
Perfect. Just pulls out little bitty jars.
Aww.
Puts them in a nice little place.
Douglas, you want to give me a bravado and persuasion, please?
Sure.
Namely, bravado, because I mean, being an average driver, being spurred on to go a little faster.
Oh no.
This is a wild roll I did not expect. I got 2 6s and a 5.
Oh my gosh!
Okay.
Okay.
So I'm very confident about driving right now.
Douglas, your driving is spectacular. I mean, we did have a little incident with Gerald earlier where he's soaked, so there's a little bit of light rainfall. But Douglas, you're able to weave in and out in just the perfect positions. There's even one spot where there's a little bit of a shortcut in an alleyway, and it's kind of a tight turn. And as one car is coming, oncoming, you're like, wait, if I stop to do the turn reasonably, then it'll take too long. And so Douglas unleashes a little bit of Fast and the Furious, a little bit of Tokyo Drift, and you're able to drift and then slip into that alleyway and make your way to the Duchess's mansion. In fact, you've made up some time. To the point where, sure, the fireworks have gone off, but it looks like the people, they were a little lackadaisical in returning inside the mansion. There are quite a few people that are still outside, but it seems that the main the main family are returning inside. Now, as you arrive, you do see this 2-storied structure, though 2 stories when it comes to the Duchess is much more grand than regular 2 stories. Like perhaps the first floor is one where when you step in, you would hear the echoes of your footsteps. You see some marble columns. You see like the initial front facade is mostly white, a bit of stucco on the wall. There's steps that lead upward, statues all around, as well as quite a few hedges, topiaries, if you will, of various animals. Notably, there seem to be a few frogs in the midst, Froglet, which might spark a little joy.
Yes.
But it seems as though everyone like the general public here for that initial show, they're kind of being ushered away while the main family and people who are presenting invitations are entering the mansion. So, what would y'all like to do?
I've never been somewhere so fancy before. What are we supposed to do? And have any of you guys have experience with this?
No.
Well,
Oh no, the silence is killing me.
I know.
I'm like reading my
Waiting,
sympathies. I'm
stare.
trying to-
Sorry, I was sitting in the car, just stunned that we made such good time.
Yeah.
Arthur's just staring at the frogs and Froglet's jars, just like, we.
Well, maybe we should join the line with the people who are checking in with the invitation. What I'm really concerned about is that like our names aren't on it or anything. But you know, Jared said that this was kissed by the lady herself, so maybe it'll be fine.
Yeah, and you kissed it, so now it's sealed. It's a done
I
deal.
left a smudge. Do you think that's going to be a problem?
No.
No, it's a seal of approval.
Exactly. Yes.
You guys are so smart. Oh my god, did we bring Jared?
Oh,
Oh.
no.
I look over the back seat and into like the trunk area.
We'll do a
Is Jared back
smash.
there?
We'll do a smash cut back to the club as Gerald steps out of the bathroom and he's like, I'm finally ready. Guys?
Gerald, I'm so
Guys.
sorry.
I feel so bad.
Dang.
That's all right. He could read some more of the book that we all totally read.
Forgotten Waters. I'm pretty sure it's called Forgotten Waters.
There we go. We finally figured it out.
I can't wait to rub
He's
that
crafty.
in his face.
He'll
later.
find his way here.
Yeah,
Hmm.
he can get a cab.
Yeah. Great. So y'all join the line and start making your way up and in. And the person at the front is, well, an older woman. She has a long, fairly plain navy dress on. She looks like she's probably in her late 60s, early 70s, with a bit of she's got a white apron on, as well as like one of those little white caps. And as you step forward, she'll say, "Oh, hello there. You must
Hello.
be the book smarts?
That would have
Yes.
been really good.
The book smarts? Ah. Let me see your invitation real quick."
Right here, I've got it for you. We are missing one person. He's taken a cab over. He was he had a car situation.
Oh, yes. Yes, I see. What was his name?
Jared.
Jared. I will keep an eye out for a Jared. I'll make sure that he gets in. Thank you.
Hey.
But please, head right inside. I'm sure an illustrious group as yourselves will be excellent company for the party.
She called us illustrious.
I know. Viv, I think it was your mark. I think it sealed the deal for us, truly.
Arthur, you know how to charm me. And I'm going to offer my
You know.
arm to Arthur.
Oh.
Thank you, my dear. Shall we?
Lead the way.
Great. As y'all step in, there, as far as like the people that are allowed in for the more formal gathering, there aren't quite as many people now. It seems like there's only maybe like 5 in this area, and this area in particular, you're walking up a sprawling red carpet onto marble floor. There is a staircase that heads up and then to the left and to the right, as well as long hallways that extend to the left and to the right from where you're standing. There do seem to be a couple entrances beyond the stairway to, well, I guess maybe you'll find out. There are a few paintings, notably paintings of the Duchess Clementine, as well as her little dog, Princess Cardamom III. There are quite a few statues of Princess Cardamom III as well. It seems that in many of these, as far as like the array in this gallery, Princess Cardamom III is clearly the star. There's also some paintings where you see Duchess Clementine holding Princess Cardamom very proudly in front of a few other people that look quite a bit like Clementine, likely her offspring. And it seems that perhaps they've kind of faded a little bit into the background. But it's like when you see that in the painting, you see also these figures standing before you. They all seem quite impatient. There is, well, let me throw down some figures here, and y'all can let me know if I'll go step by step with each of these, and if you feel like you might know who they are, just tell me, and I will give you a little more detail. But first, we have the eldest daughter. Would anyone be familiar with the author? An author of thriller and mystery novels.
Ooh. Okay.
I ran those circles back in the day. I wrote some mystery novels myself that were, drew in some good reviews for a time before they stopped selling.
Okay. In that case, I'll tell you that this is Aurora Blackwood, who, well, she stands and she looks very dismissively at all of you. She has a long purple dress and she wears white gloves. She has her hair done up. It would traditionally be in wavy brown, but now, as far as thriller and mystery novels go, could I have you roll a little d6 for me? I will tell you perhaps the very first novel of hers that will come to your mind.
Matt,
Yes.
could my character also be a fan of her work, if not met her?
A
Because
fan?
mystery is Viv's favorite genre.
Absolutely. Then please roll a d6 for me as well. And we'll see. Maybe there will be some overlap.
I rolled a 1.
I rolled a 6.
Okay. So in this case, while Arthur's popularity might have waned, well, her work has continued to soar. She's just bestseller after bestseller, though a lot of it might not be of the standard that you would like, Arthur. Now, with a 6, I will tell you that the book that comes to your mind you might remember very distinctly. It was featured in reviews right next to yours. There's a little bit of a blurb. You probably didn't read this one, but it does come to your head in this moment. The blurb is, people who are attracted to each other can't be friends, can they? But when these two met, they hit it off immediately. It seemed unlikely for Sally, a girl like her, so prim and proper and idealistic, to end up with this brash cowboy, Harry. But when things go sour and it seems all is lost, he looks in the mirror and says, "Do you feel lucky, punk?" Of course, this is the famous novel, When Dirty Harry Met Sally. Now,
I think I remember that, and I just seethe, and I go, "That's not even a blurb for a mystery novel. What is that even?"
Dang.
now the one that comes to Viv's mind, Viv, the fan of Aurora Blackwood, a story about the Holy Grail. In fact, a story that says it's a conspiracy, that it's not actually a cup at all. It's all a massive cover-up, as the ancient relic was hidden in plain sight, worn by the most powerful people in the world. Would they be able to uncover the secret, to shed the wool over the world's eyes, to pull away the Da Vinci coat?
Oh my god.
I just love her.
I will never
The
understand.
Da Vinci
that,
coat, I never got over it, honestly. It haunts my dreams.
It haunts mine too.
Now, with those things in mind, I'm going to describe a couple other characters here. We have a woman who's the middle daughter. And she is wearing what looks kind of like the sort of clothes that someone on safari might wear, or at least someone cosplaying as someone who goes on safaris might wear. They've got the hat, they've got binoculars. She still has the binoculars around her neck. But I mean, Froglet, being such a frog connoisseur, you would be aware that this is Chartreuse Blackwood.
Oh.
And you're aware of her because as far as her allowances went, as far as the money that was that had been given to her, she's infamous for having spent all of her money on creating a prize-winning menagerie, which is a collection of exotic animals, which created tensions between her and her mother.
Oh, do I know the animals in the collection? Can I roll for that?
Yes, absolutely. In that case, why don't you give me a little culture and etiquette? I'd say that, like, she tends to brag about it, but in more of the upper crust circles.
Okay.
So it's like if you're able to get your ear to the wind there.
Oh, geez. 1, 2 3s and a 2.
Okay. You're not quite sure, unfortunately, but you are curious because there's been some whispers, some rumblings in the air as far as what it could be. And some of these, well, may have been alluded to with the topiaries outside. So, that is Chartreuse.
Okay.
And now, well, Douglas, I'd say both Douglas and Froglet would be familiar with the youngest daughter of the Duchess. Because, I would say in two different ways. Because Froglet, you being an occultist, you would maybe have seen Wisteria in some of the same sorts of shops. If you were to get any sorts of like different materials, perhaps some herbs and the like. Douglas, you would probably have seen her in the university libraries. She would have used her money in a way, throwing her money around to gain access. And maybe in more than one scenario, she would have asked you about the idea of resurrection. And she is wearing a long black dress. She has her hair, it's just down. It's not combed. It's quite messy. But she doesn't seem to care. She is rocking it. Now, of course, you've already seen the housekeeper, but there is a couple here as well. Though, if you were to look at their expressions, it seemed like two people who are close in proximity, but couldn't be further apart. There is a gentleman, Grimsley, and, well, I would say all of you would have heard of Grimsley, because he's the guy that makes sure you know he's rich. He's wearing a black suit jacket, a purple button-up shirt underneath. He has very gaudy diamond studs in his ears. He's known for driving fast cars. And he has his arm around a woman. A woman who Arthur and Viv would likely be familiar with, because Patricia Periwinkle may have done a little bit of singing, a little bit of dancing in a certain bar, in a certain speakeasy, at least before she got engaged to Mr. Grimsley here. But she has deep red hair. She's wearing a red dress with a very plunging neckline and purple eyeshadow. Now, at this point, the lights, the chandeliers, they cut out. And you hear a scream from, you would guess, one of the Blackwood daughters. Just an ah! But then you also hear a voice say, go along with it. It's a bit. Don't worry. You hear that next to what would be the light switch, and then a scramble, a run, a jog, heavy breathing before you hear that sound settle at the top of the staircase. And a light turns on, but not the lights above. A lantern. One side has been covered up to create like a spotlight on the wall at the top of the stairs. And all of you would recognize as your rival club, steps into the light. A gentleman with slicked brown hair steps out and says, "Prepare for literary trouble." And then another gentleman steps out, also slicked brown hair, and make it literally double.
God.
To protect the world from decaffeination. To unite all readers within our nation. Barnes. Noble.
Oh God.
And like the two of them stand for a moment, pause, and then one of them like kind of leans down and is like, "Come on, do the thing. We have a treat for you. Please." And then you just hear a meow. And then the lights come back on, and there's like confusion as some of the other party goers are like, they're not sure if they should clap or not. But your rival social club, Barnes and Noble, and their cat Borders, has arrived.
Burst.
Matt, you've gone too far.
Dang.
Not far enough.
Dang.
I love Borders.
Wait till we get Books a Million in here.
The frogs all have names now.
Entirely.
I definitely think that Froglet would be like thinking about the frog in the little jars and being like, I have an opportunity here.
I would have just looked at Arthur and probably leaned in saying, well, they get at least a C for effort this time for presentation.
You're too generous, Professor.
I know, I can't help it.
Oh, I freaking hate those guys.
Oh yeah.
Why don't we have a rhyme? We could have a rhyme, and we've never even talked about it. I can't believe Jared hasn't put it on our agenda.
Do you really want a rhyme? Is that something we want for ourselves?
I guess I just want a flashy entrance.
I mean, we could come up with a soliloquy.
We don't even know the book for our book club.
We've forgotten what is Froglet? We just talked about it.
Again, I swear, it's one of those 5 books I had, I swear.
Well, as Barnes and Noble stand proudly, kind of literally looking down upon you, I did get a redeem of a helping hand to the players. And what's going to happen is the lights are going to cut out again. And then you're going to hear 2 things. You're going to hear the sound of someone falling down the stairs. Whether it's Barnes or whether it's Noble.
That's
No.
It's Noble. For sure it's Noble.
Yeah, I'm with you, actually. I was just thinking that.
But in this case, for what's about to happen, your rival social club is going to be a step slower. But there is going to be also a scream in the distance. And as the lights come back on, the housekeeper re-enters this front room and says, There's been a murder.
Ooh.
Duchess Clementine is dead."
Is this one of those murder mystery parties? That wasn't on the invite.
Yeah,
They said it was
wasn't. Is it one
ultimate.
of
They
those
really
things?
went. Oh, please, Douglas. I wanted to hear what you were saying instead of listening
No,
to my
no, I
stupid
cut you off,
joke.
my dear. Go right ahead.
I was just gonna say they said it was an ultimate party. They weren't messing around.
Actually, you know what? Fair point. I was just thinking the same thing. It's a lot of panaz in there right now.
How is the housekeeper reacting to this?
she is distraught. You see that she's not sure who to go to because she's looking at the offspring of the Duchess Clementine, and she, having had a hand in raising them, looks at each of them one by one before settling on you and your rival club and says, "Please, I will inform the police, but if you can get to the bottom of it, I suspect foul play."
I would be happy to help you. Can we please see the body?
Yes, of course. And Noble, a little dazed, a little confused,
I knew it.
is gonna say, "We challenge you. We challenge you to whoever can figure out who did it. For all the marbles. To be the ultimate book club in all of Peccadillo."
My God, you can't even walk downstairs. It was just really a challenge.
It was dark.
We all bring our bookmarks.
Yeah, just like I feel like we're already there, but sure.
It looks like
Also,
he's
I
had
think
the
you need a
book
nice
a
backpack.
million thrown at him.
Oh my gosh. And with that, with our bookmarks flashing their bookmarks, with the challenge having been with the gauntlet thrown down, with a murder and a mystery to be solved, we will take a little bit of a break. Welcome back. We are rocking and rolling with, oh my goodness, the Flabbergasted expansion, Mystified, and we are in quite a pickle right now. There's been a murder, there's been a challenge, and now we got to get to the bottom of it. So, as far as our bookmarks are concerned, what would y'all like to do first? Let's start with Viv.
Viv wants to take a peep at that body.
Okay. In that case, well, the housekeeper would be happy to lead you there. And you'll note that as she does, she's moving fairly quickly. She's leading you up the stairs, down the hall, and past quite a few doors, until there's one door that's left open. And she'll point inside and say, "Just right in there." And inside, there is quite a large bed with a canopy over top. There is amidst the canopy, there's like that kind of semi-translucent fabric to afford a little extra privacy. You would see a figure laying in the bed. And as you walk up to it, there is just a little whimper at your feet. As the famous, you've seen so many depictions of her already, Princess Cardamom III is at your feet, and you're just kind of like,
Oh, it's a dog. All right. Hello, little puppy. Just stay right there, okay? Viv isn't great with dogs. Doesn't have anything against them, but she doesn't know what to do with those things. She's gonna kind of skirt around while pulling some gloves outside of her bag. Puts them on. Can't contaminate a crime scene. That's all. That's known. Housekeeper lady.
Yes.
When did you find the body?
Well, I had just barely come back to take her down for the cake. But, well, I knocked, there was no answer, and usually she does respond fairly quickly when I knock. I guess I've got kind of an annoying knock, but I walked in and she didn't respond. I shook her a little bit and she didn't respond. And so I checked her pulse and nothing.
It's a really sad story and a lot of words to not answer my question. When did you find the body?
I guess just 5 minutes ago.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much for that. All right, 5
Yes.
minutes ago, okay? All right, I'm going to go ahead and examine. If that's going to disturb you, feel free to wait in the hall.
All right, I'll wait in the hall with the princess.
Okay.
All right.
So I have dead men don't talk. I can
Okay.
investigate a corpse. No matter how old it is, you learn something from it, whether that is a connection to the mystery or something completely arbitrary.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay. So, here's what I'll tell you. As far as the skin and whatnot are concerned, she does seem a bit pale.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like when you examine, you do note that she is holding a little teacup in her left hand. When you take a look at the cup, there's still a little bit of tea left in there.
Definitely going to preserve that. Take that, put that somewhere safe on a flat surface, maybe up high so it can't be bumped and spilled. That's definitely got to be tested. And then I'm going to try and take her temperature, whether that's comparing it with my own or if there's a thermometer in a bathroom or something. I want to kind of see if we can figure out how cold she is to get an idea of how long she's been dead.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'd say that it's probably been a couple hours.
Couple hours. Okay. Wow. That's sad. And then is there can I check fingernails or in the mouth for any signs of poison?
Yes, and I'll roll over your scene queue here in that, checking those elements right now, there don't seem to be any of the telltale signs of poison. As far as the breath and everything, it just seems like an old lady's breath.
Sad. Okay. I am going to not disturb the body anymore as much as I can. Doesn't seem like she has any wounds, but she does have the cup. And all right, I'm gonna go into the hall and ask, when did you when was this tea served? Who brought this to her?
I brought this to her. I brew a kettle every morning. She wanted 2 today, so that she'd be nice and spry for the party.
And that's unusual. How long was this pot ever left unattended?
Since I prepared it, I don't think so. I just brought it up here. I mean, unless someone else got in the room since then, but it has been a few hours, so.
Where is this pot?
And she's gonna point over to where the nightstand is, and there's no pot there.
Interesting.
And
I'm
I'm gonna come back to you in a little bit. Douglas, where would you like to go? Who would you like to question?
I have a really funny thing that's probably not on target or
Okay.
on point, which would be to Noble who fell. I probably would actually begrudgingly make sure they're okay because you just fell down a set of stairs. That's probably not the best thing. And then from there, because this was just said about the dog, I would actually go check on the dog. because I have a dog, and I'd be like, I know how to
Oh,
like make sure the animal's okay, just because that stuff like that can be traumatic. I would imagine.
yeah. That would take you up because I'd say like perhaps perhaps your dog, Doug,
Yep,
would
also-
have like kind of picked up on the whimpers in the distance.
Yeah.
And that would indicate that you'd have to go upstairs towards where Viv had gone. And you would have found at that point, I'd say maybe the housekeeper just barely sent Viv into the room, and the little doggy is out in the hall.
Definitely would check Princess Cartamon III just to see if the princess is okay. But then for the housekeeper, I would very much, if they were outside as well, be like, just want to check. It's kind of a dumb question because I assume the answer is always on her side at all times. Was the princess with the Duchess all day? Was the princess not with the Duchess all day?
Yes. The princess is her favorite child. The only one who has yet to disappoint her. So, she is always in her room.
I totally get it. I have a dog as well. They're adorable.
Yes. Yes.
Did the dog at all give, as weird as this maybe sounds to ask, any sort of like barks or whimpers earlier in the day, like something that they normally would not do? Like, are they normally quiet? Are they normally very loud?
Well, And would you mind giving me a little wit and sharp here?
Oh, we'll see how this goes.
Essentially, it's like this line of questioning. I mean, she's fairly distraught. So, my justification is that you're trying to find the right way to ask her so that she can remember whilst dealing with these emotions.
I got a 3 and 2 6s.
Nice! Okay. So, she is going to say, well, the princess has been agitated the last 3 days. But that's because my lady has been unwell for the last 3 days.
Unwell in what way? Like just under the weather?
Bathroom
or if any-
ways. Bathroom ways.
Yes, the most
Yes.
private of not well understood.
Right.
Is this a normal occurrence that has happened before, or
No. She has a fairly regular routine. She generally takes a slice of cake every evening, and her appetite has always been great until recently.
is there a cake that's still here in the kitchen, possibly? If you don't
Yes,
mind showing me.
I have baked a special cake to celebrate the Duchess's birthday. And it's quite grand. It's the same type of cake, just much bigger. I can take you down to the kitchen.
I would love that if you don't mind.
Okay. Now I'm going to come back to you in a second. I'd say like after that offer would be when Viv comes out, and I'll do a little retcon. You would run into Douglas as well, asking the questions about the teapot and the like. Now, I'm going to jump over to Arthur. Arthur,
Yes.
what'd you think?
Well, having been a mystery writer for many years, I think one of the first things that would have come to Arthur's mind upon hearing about the death of someone, after thinking it was a joke, and then realizing it was not a joke or a murder mystery party, would look and get glances at all the faces in the room to garner the different reactions
Okay.
of the children and otherwise in the space.
Great.
Would she have noticed anything? Yeah, that seemed off about that.
Yeah. In this case, if you're drawing on like your I guess like the murder mystery novel expertise, I would give it to you either creativity and passion or a wit and sharp.
I will take creativity and passion.
Sounds good to me.
All right. That is 2 6s, a 4 and a 3.
Okay. So what you're going to note is that as you're taking a look at the reactions, it seems like Aurora is still maintaining a steely facade, still kind of looking down dismissively at everyone here. You would note that Chartreuse, she seems like she's holding back tears, and her eyes are like darting to the hall that leads to the back of the estate.
That's not the same hall that the murder happened. That's a different direction.
Different direction.
Straight,
Yeah,
straight back.
Right. Still on the main floor, straight back.
Okay.
Beyond the stairs, without going up them.
Right.
You would also note that Wisteria has an excited look on her face.
Ooh.
Grimsley seems like he's a little like he doesn't believe it right now. Like he's not quite sure if this is a joke, if this is some kind of prank. He's trying to keep a brave face. And Patricia seems she seems to be eyeing both you and Froglet. Twirling her hair a little bit.
Interesting. I think in seeing her looking at me, I'd give her like a little nod to let her know that I see her too. And then you said that everyone kind of started splitting paths.
Yes, absolutely. So, like after the initial, like seeing the initial reactions, of course, you've got Wisteria heading towards the back of the estate. Grimsley is gonna go head up the steps, but to the right side as opposed to the left. So the opposite wing. Patricia is gonna like start to go up the steps, but then kind of like trail a finger on the banister.
I have a request before you make everybody leave.
Yeah. Yes.
I wanted to talk to Chartreuse before she left the area.
Okay, I'll have you resolve that on your turn, but I'll just give the trajectories just so you know, like essentially where they're heading. And we've got Aurora is going to be going main floor right side.
And sorry, was that the way that was to the body, or is that opposite?
It's opposite. Body is upstairs left side.
Upstairs left side. Okay, great.
Yes. And okay, sorry, I mixed two up. Chartreuse is going to the back of the estate. Wisteria is going into the basement. Those are the planned routes.
Okay. They all separate.
Yeah.
Very good.
So.
Okay. I think the last thing I'd like to do in my little bit is simply like find, is there another staff member around?
Yes, absolutely. I'd say that there would be a butler with a fine black coat, button-up shirt, white gloves, and slicked black hair.
I think I'd walk up to him. Sir, my name is Arthur Bornalis. I have been authorized as a member of the Bookmarks to have this establishment closed down. So please have your staff surround the perimeter and make sure no one leaves this estate while we are at work, if you would.
Ah. Would you give me a little bravado and persuasion,
Oh
please?
god. You know, this is my best one. I have a single die for this.
Oh,
so.
snap!
Let's see how well this goes. Oh, no. Let's roll it on the pad. Oh, that's a 4.
Any scene
close.
cues?
Let's see. I think I mean, I don't know if this would necessarily help me in this moment. But I read that in a book, which lets me obscure facts and stuff, but I think I would be like, I hear this is one of the I read this in a book, that this is one of the first tactics that any police officers would do in the event of any kind of murder. So if the police were here, they would take this measure.
I see. Well, in that case, I defer to your expertise. My apologies for questioning you.
Yes, well, it happens to the best of us. All right, ta-ta.
And he will, he'll give you a nod, and then you'll just kind of see, like, he kind of wrings his hands a little bit of nerves, and he will go like from room to room and like call and gather up the other members of staff to secure the perimeter. Okay, great. So you've got that locked down. I want you to think about where you might want to head next. But
Oof. Yeah.
You'll have some time to think, because I'm going to come back to you in a little bit. I'm going to pop over to Froglet.
Hello. Oh, wait. Can you hear me?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Cool. Yes. Sorry about interrupting. I was trying to kiss Chartreuse because I have a question.
Yes.
So I think, in seeing, all the reactions, Froglet is going to walk up to Chartreuse and go, okay, lead the way. I'll help you.
Oh. Who are you?
Oh, yes, yeah. Okay, I'm Froglet, and then he's gonna show some frogs. Okay. Okay. So let's go.
Great. I did create a problem for the players.
No.
So when you show the frogs, she's gonna yell and say, "Did you steal my frogs? I had so many of them. I paid so much money for them."
No. You see, this I found this outside in some bushes, and not these bushes, other bushes, unrelated bushes. Anyways, I think, I'm trying to offer to help you, make sure all your animals are secure, because someone did just die, and you have a big collection. So I think, it'd be good to go check everything.
You want to give me either bravado and persuasion, or a creativity and passion?
Ooh, okay. I'll do creativity and passion because I have 2 instead of 1.
Okay, great.
A 3 and a 4.
Do you want to use your lucky coin?
Oh, yes, I would. Okay. Then it's like odds or evens, right?
Right.
Okay, so I'll say odd because Froglet's kind of odd. I got a 5.
Okay. This calms her down, and she says, "Oh, I'm sorry. I get very protective of my frogs. I'm sure you understand, right?"
Yeah, of course.
Okay. I was just gonna go check on them. If you said you wanted to come with.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, she is gonna lead you, to the back of the estate, outside, to where, you exit out into the courtyards, into where there are these fairly tall hedges. There's paths where there's like those little shallow pools that are primarily just for decoration, until you get to like a little enclosed area, that's caged in, and there's also like a greenhouse structure over it. She'll take out a little key, open the door, and you'll see within there are a couple like terraria. It seems as though in each one of these there is a little frog with very bright coloration. There are plaques on each of them. There is a frog named Kimberly. There's a frog named Billy. There's a frog named Zach. There's a frog named Trini. There's a frog named Jason. And a frog named Tommy.
Oh, so many names. Okay.
You'll note that the frog named Tommy is sitting atop the head of a larger looking lizard. Is Froglet very familiar with many lizards?
I just assume like amphibians, the reptiles, the creepy crawlies.
Okay. Yeah, the Tommy is on top of a bearded dragon.
And just to make sure, are there is their area like covered up or is it like open?
Oh, they're all in like little glass enclosures that are covered.
Okay. And they're all brightly colored?
Yes. With your expertise in frogs, I would look. The fact that you chose a character that's fascinated with frogs is beautiful.
Yes.
Because I didn't know that when I wrote this. But you would know that these are all poison dart frogs.
Okay. That's really interesting. They're all poison dart frogs. Okay. I'm gonna make a note. I'm saying this out loud because no one can see what I'm writing. But she confused. She thought I had one of her frogs, but I grabbed a random frog from outside. That's a little suspicious. And then, so are any of the frogs looking kind of like lethargic? Like, do any of them look tired?
Ooh. I would say that they all seem like perhaps they haven't had as much attention as you would provide a frog if you possess this frog. But the feeding, like the water and the food, those are all full.
Okay. All right. So I'm just gonna as I'm like walking around, I'm looking. I'm gonna try to very nonchalantly ask some questions, get some more information. So I'm gonna say, are you the only one with a key to this area?
No. Miss Blanc has the master key to the entire estate.
Oh, okay. So she helps you with the frogs sometimes. I mean, this is a lot to do all on your own.
Yes, that's what I tell everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I can't be expected to feed them every day, so Miss Blanc handles all that.
Yeah, exactly. And I trying to think of what else to ask. Have you had any pass away recently?
I don't think so.
Okay. And as she's saying this, like, do all the names match up, like, with the amount of frogs? Like, there's nothing that's empty or like two names to frog.
There's nothing that's empty, but there is. You would note a little bit farther off. You hear the sound of squawking.
So I hear the squawking. We look at her and say, so is this it? Is this your entire collection?
Oh, I have a couple birds too. Sorry, I always forget about them. Thank goodness for Miss Blanc, right?
Yes, I guess so. I guess we should check up on them too.
This woman is so irresponsible with her menagerie. It's unacceptable.
Froglet is making notes. She's gonna get dragged.
I'm so fascinated.
She will lead you over to where there are two large parrots. There is one that has a yellow breast, a green head, blue wings, another that has a red head, and a back that from the red it fades down to yellow and then blue at the tips of the feathers. And well, when they see you, one of them says, never suspect, never suspect. And I'll come back to you in a minute, Milo.
Not at all.
Okay, so back upstairs, Viv. Now you had asked about the teapot, and this is where I did a little bit of retcon. So Douglas is there as well.
Okay.
So Viv, what would you like to do?
Well, if Douglas is taking Bianca, is that her name?
Miss Blanc.
Miss Blanc.
Miss Blanc. If Miss Blanc and Douglas are going to go down to the kitchen, that actually gives me the perfect opportunity to snoop around, and I'm gonna try and find like a diary in her bedroom to see if there's like any recent scuffles that she's been having with her children.
Oh, okay, great.
I might whisper to Douglas before he goes, though. See if you can find that teapot. All right.
Will do. About to go check on some cake. Give you a weird look when I say that. It's kind of like, what a weird day.
Super strange. Best day of my freaking life.
All right. So you're taking a look for like a journal or a notebook, and in this case, why don't you give me either a wit and sharp or culture and etiquette? As far
I'll
as
go
like,
wit and sharp.
Yeah.
That seems like better for me. I've got 2 4s and a 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I have not succeeded a roll this session.
Oh
This
no!
whole time, there's not been a single success. Let me see if I have anything like a scene prompt that would help.
Okay. While you're considering,
Okay.
I got another create a problem.
Incredible.
Oh.
Incredible.
And as you're looking around, you would hear a voice that's very familiar to you.
Oh no.
That says, is that Vivian? And the voice sounds familiar because it's a voice that you had grown up with.
Frankie!
What are you doing here?
Reveal yourself unto me.
And the curtains to the window are gonna shift, and you see your brother standing right there. And he's got necklaces upon necklaces around his neck.
You're robbing this poor dead woman on her birthday?
I didn't know it was her birthday.
How did you not know it was her birthday? There's been fireworks going everywhere. There's a party literally happening down the stairs.
Hey, I've got a few places to hit. I can't keep track of who has a birthday and who doesn't.
I really can't with you sometimes. Okay, did you see anything happen while you was in here?
Well, before the screaming woman, I did notice someone come in and go through that door. And he's gonna point, and it's kind of like if you've got a suite of some sort, and there's like a little side door that very clearly opens up into another room. Not like going into a living room or something, but like another bedroom.
Well, who was it? Did you recognize them? What did they look like?
I couldn't
Frankie,
quite...
I need you to think harder. I know
I'm
that it's
sorry.
easy to you, but it's starting to piss me off.
I'm sorry. I didn't expect to see you here. I've got so much loot on me. My neck is hurting. I just want to get out of here.
Oh, poor baby.
Can you get me
You
out
got
of
too
here?
many diamonds?
Yeah, diamonds, gold, jewels.
You know what? You need to put that back where you got it, okay?
Why?
Because the police are gonna be here. They're gonna inspect the whole area, and then they're gonna pin this shit on you.
Give me a bravado and persuasion.
Can't wait to fail again.
You got
I
this.
got one success. I got a 6.
Okay. He's gonna start taking these necklaces off, and he's gonna like hand them to you.
I don't want my I don't want to touch that shit.
Hey, you want them back?
I don't know where you got it from. You have to put it back where you found it. Also, did you happen to see a diary when you were snooping about?
I think there was one in that room.
Perfect. You're gonna put that away. I'm gonna be back in just a minute, okay?
Fine.
I don't want to hear fine from you. I want to hear yes, ma'am.
All right, ma'am.
Frankie.
Okay. Do you check the room?
I do. I am gonna check the room.
All right. When you enter, it's a much smaller quarters. It's a lot more sparse. There's just a single twin bed. But based on like the overall layout and the fact that Miss Blanc seems to tend to every whim of the Duchess, this would likely be Miss Blanc's room, so that she'll be at her beck and call day and night. There is a desk, there's a dresser, and you would notice a teapot in a trash can.
Okay, so there's a teapot in the trash can. Does there look like there's a way out of this room? Frankie saw someone walk in here. I want to know if I'm here alone.
Oh, there would be another door that would go straight out into the hallway.
I'm going to peek out, just super cautiously, trying to open the door very gently and peer.
Okay. When you peer, you would see Douglas and Miss Blanc heading off into the distance. She is leading him to the steps to head down to get to the kitchen area.
Is there a diary in this room?
You want to take a look around?
I do. I want to snoop.
Okay, great. In that case, why don't you give me a little wit and sharp here?
Okay. 5 and a 6.
Okay, so you would find a diary, just inside one of the desk drawers, and the latest entry says, "I'm very concerned. Aurora asked me something very peculiar. Research about how to get away with murder? She said it was research for a book, but..."
That's standard writing behavior.
But you'll also note that there is, once you've taken a look inside the drawer, there is a small safe in there as well. It's like when you pull it out, you would have seen the diary on top of the safe.
Frankie, get your light fingers in here.
Well, I'm putting stuff away.
Ugh. I'm gonna walk in the other room. Are any of our other brothers hiding in here? Viv is one of 8 children, and 7 of them are brothers, and they're all criminals.
And then you'll just see another 2 heads pop out from.
I love it.
All right, one of yous come pick this lock for me.
Okay. I'm gonna come back to you. We're gonna jump over to Douglas. Douglas, you are being led to the kitchen, and Miss Blanc is going to take you to where there is an enormous tray with one of those nice round metal covers on top.
Oh, yeah.
And it's on a cart that you'd be able to wheel out. And Miss Blanc says, "Yes, this is the cake," and she'll grab the lid, uncover it, and you just see a magnificent the cake. There's white cream. It says "Happy Birthday, Duchess," and there's little words that say "and Princess." This is the cake that I baked.
Is the cake whole, as in nothing's been cut yet from the cake?
Correct.
Okay. Oh, that's tricky. Because I don't want to take. Part of me wants to do a taste test to make sure it tastes okay, but also I don't want to mess with the cake because I don't want to mess with Princess.
Do you want to try it?
If you don't mind, just to make sure everything's in tip-top shape.
Okay, she's going to slice into it, and she'll give you a nice beefy slice, and say,
I will take a very small bite just to be safe.
"Okay." When you take a bite, it's a vanilla cake with whipped cream topping. There's actually a couple layers of whipped cream in between the layers of cake. When you take a tiny bite, there's an odd taste to it. There's an odd texture to it. Normally, cake has a little bit of sponginess, but there's an extra mushiness in there that does not feel like it belongs.
Not to ask a very strange question, because obviously you said you had a hand in. Well, I'm
Yes.
assuming. Did you have a hand in baking this cake? You
Yes,
said you've baked
I
it
did.
before. Not to be rude, not trying to be rude. Do you mind tasting this for a second? Because to me, this doesn't taste quite like cake that I would recognize.
All right.
Just a tiny piece, not a big one. Just take a tiny nibble.
And she is going to, and she's like, I think it was the addition.
The addition?
Well, I was recommended to add these beans.
What kind of beans are we talking about?
Well, the children seem to be concerned about her protein intake, and so they said maybe if you slip some beans into the cake.
Wait a minute. Let me get this straight. And I'm giving the most like dead-eyed stare that's just getting more and more dead-eyed. You put protein beans in a cake.
Yes.
Just like a blank stare for 10 seconds.
Beans.
Which of the children specifically was the one who you would say was the most verbal about it?
Well, they all seem to have they all seem to echo the sentiments of her needing more protein, but I, as far as the specific bean, Wisteria was the one who in fact ordered this bean plant.
Do you know the name of this specific bean plant?
I have no idea.
Do you know? I'm assuming I didn't see where Wisteria went. Do you know which direction or where Wisteria usually tends to favor being in the house?
Probably in the basement. She calls it her dungeon.
Oh, that's not ominous at all. I will, if you don't mind, I'm gonna make my way and try to figure out why beans, because yeah, that is. In the future, just don't use beans on a cake. That just does not add to a good textured flavor. Just don't do that. Make it a side dish. Just don't add it in there. It's not a good idea.
All right.
A for effort. Don't do it again. And I walk off.
Okay. Now, I'm gonna come back to you. You're heading over towards Wisteria.
Yeah, the dungeon.
Great. I'm gonna jump over to Arthur.
Yes. Plotting a trajectory. Yes.
Yes.
I think I think Arthur like walks like the cane kind of echoing in this grand foyer, watching all the different directions they all went off in. You know, with the look toward where Chartreuse went, seeing Froglet go, that's taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
Great. The smile on Wisteria makes her pause. She thinks about it. She also thinks about Aurora, her not a rival, nothing of the sort, of course. But she thinks of that blank face.
Mm-hmm.
And then she settles on Patricia, I think, because she knows her and she's the one outside the family. And so maybe if anyone has a little gossip, a little inside knowledge, that could maybe give her some info before she questions the children in particular ways. I think that's the way she's going to go. And since Patricia seemed to be like moving slower than the rest, I think she'll also take that as a cue as like maybe she does want to talk. So
Okay, excellent. Yeah. Like when you go to follow, it's like you would note that she notices you following, and like she deliberately slows down her walk, makes a little bit more of a sachet to show off, the swing of her hips before she, like, Grimsley was heading in a direction. She was heading towards where Grimsley was heading, but she kind of peels off into a room maybe 3 rooms before his. And as she opens the door, she kind of looks back at you with a smile before like her hand just trails the door frame as she steps inside.
I think Patricia or Arthur like sees that happen, and like with the sway of the hips, Arthur is a little drawn in for a moment. It's like professionalism. All right.
I have a question. Is Arthur a gilf? Like for some reason I had in my head that Arthur's like 60 years old.
Yes,
and I'm like,
she
damn,
is.
Arthur's keeping it toy. Okay,
She's got game.
Yeah.
I love this. I love
I
this.
love it.
Just a little twirl of the cane as she makes her way forward, and she will follow into that room.
Great. And you would note that, like, as you round to the point where you could see into the room, you would see that there is a very, very large bed, canopy. There's that translucent material, and you see the silhouette of Patricia. She seems to be on the edge of the bed, on the far end, and she kind of looks back. The silhouette just kind of gives you a come hither, like little wag of the finger.
Loosen the tie a bit. Walk forward. Patricia, doll, you don't have to put on a show.
Oh, but I like to show off.
Well, I suppose if you like it. I won't protest. But she'll make her way the rest of the, like, into the room to kind of stand before Patricia. And I think kind of like lean against the wall. So, are you going to tell me what's going on?
What do you mean?
Don't play coy with me. You're the fiancé to one of these Blackwoods. I'm sure you know all the inside gossip.
You want to give me a little bravado and persuasion?
God, I picked the worst one to make my dump stat.
I will give you a little. I will give you an extra die here for being willing to, enter the room and play along for a little bit.
All right. Thank you for your kindness.
Of course.
That is a 2 and a 6.
Okay. And she'll say, I was hoping you'd be a bit more fun. Well, from what I had heard, the Duchess was going to be donating most of her estate to a local charity because her children aren't exactly the kindest or most exemplary of family. And I heard there was a will. I don't think it was finalized yet, and it sounds like someone took action.
And, who, pray tell, of the children might want to take the most action, do you think? I mean, you're rather close with Grimsley, seeing as you're going to marry him soon.
Grimsley... he doesn't have the stomach for it. I think it would have to be one of the daughters, because he's all show.
I did see a smile on little Wisteria's face. Is that just the way she is?
I never quite know why she's smiling, and I don't think I ever want to find out.
Do you think she'd go so far as to kill her own mother?
I don't know. I don't talk with her much. You can see that our style, and she'll kind of gesture towards her very well kept, shiny, glossy red hair. And you think back to Wisteria and her messy, long black hair, not even combed. We don't necessarily take care of ourselves in the same way.
That's true. I suppose Aurora takes care of herself fairly well. What with her, continued fame. Needs to keep up a certain facade.
True. I have found that it seems the best way, if you were to talk with her, would be to relate to one of her books.
Oh, God. Yes, because I've read all of those monstrosities.
I find them quite compelling.
I'm sure you do. Finally, Chartreuse. She looked at the back room there and then skedaddled fairly quickly.
She probably just wanted to see her animals. She barely takes care of them.
So why bother going back to check on her animals if she barely takes care of them?
Oh, because you're all here. She wants a big show of being this animal lover. But when it's just us, and Miss Blanc handles all the feeding and grooming.
And what about you, my dear? Would you have any reason to kill the Duchess?
I suppose that if Grimsley were to receive his share of the inheritance, I would be quite the wealthy woman. But there are plenty of wealthy men out there who, well, would find this appealing.
And I think at this, Arthur will pull herself off the wall and kind of take a step forward and go, "So is it a love match then? I'm not sure I sensed that in the foyer."
Let's just say it's a temporary match. And
not planning on marrying him? We'll get to it in a sec. Yeah.
I'll come back to you in a little bit. You got quite a bit of detail. I'm going to jump over to Milo. Froglet. Never suspect.
Okay. I'm just gonna look at her and look back at the birds and look at her. And I'm gonna, even though I know the birds probably won't answer, I'm gonna ask the birds, never suspect what?
So, when you do that, I will need you. You can choose whichever role you want. Whichever tactic you're going to take to try to talk down these birds. But I will tell you that Chartreuse seems a little bit scared. And she'll look down, and if you look down as well, there is a a yellow line on the ground, like a demarcation of a zone of sorts. And her fear seems to be that both of you have stepped into something's territory. So, what role are you gonna take against the parrots?
Against the parrots. So this might be a stretch. If the parrots are being taken care of by Miss Block, I'm gonna try to behave the way that I assume she behaves, because she takes care of everything.
Oh.
So maybe if I mimic their authority, I'll have authority.
All right. Give me that roll.
Can I pass that as culture and etiquette?
Yeah, absolutely. Miss Blanc is nothing if not the most well versed in etiquette.
A 6 and a 5.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
in adopting the demeanor of the housekeeper, of Miss Blanc, the parrots, they seemed poised, like they had their wings out. They were ready to fly and peck, descending upon both of you, but recognizing familiarity, their wings come back down. They look curiously at you. They seem to have accepted you as being someone who will take care of them. What would you like to do?
Ooh. Oh, I want them to finish their sentence. So I'm gonna say, never suspect who.
And one of the birds is gonna do a nod, and then the other one is gonna flap to the back of their little grounds with little trees, and there's a little cupboard.
There's a cupboard?
The parrot lands on top of the cupboard and kind of nods down towards it.
I'm gonna open the cupboard.
You see a small vial with a couple droplets still inside.
Before I reach for anything, how is Chartreuse acting?
I'd say that she is still way back because you've been accepted by the parrots, but she has not.
Oh, can she see what I'm doing?
She's at the moment, she's preoccupied, but if you show, she would be able to see.
Okay. The vial is it clear, liquid inside? Yes. Is it? Ooh. Okay. Can I take it?
Yeah.
Is there anything else in the cupboard?
Nope.
No dust or anything? Just a plain cupboard?
Just a plain cupboard.
Okay. So I take it. I'm going to say thank you to the birds. And then because I don't want her to, let's see. I don't want her to suspect anything if I'm walking around. I'm going to get we think. So whatever frog I showed her before, I want to put it back and I want to take out a different one. And then I want to walk up to her. The vial I want to be put away too.
Okay.
And I was going to tell her, I think one of your frogs got out.
Oh no.
Yeah, I think one of them got here. Go ahead and put him back where he belongs. I'm going to give her the little frog.
One of your frogs?
Yeah. Just want to see what she does.
And when she takes it, she like looks at it for a second, and then goes over to like what coloration does this frog have?
Just brown, just plain brown.
Okay. She goes to the, I would say just the nearest one, which would probably be Kimberly's, and drops it in there. Like just opens up a little thing and drops it in there.
Did she touch it with her hands, like her bare hands?
Yeah, but when she drops it, she does like a recoil afterwards, and like holds that hand out to you as though you're supposed to wipe it.
Oh, wow. Okay, I'm gonna stand back. Did you just touch that frog? Don't you know what kind of frog that is?
No, what kind of frog is it?
That frog. It's and I don't know how to say the name of this frog. It's Bufo olivaris. Never heard of that frog before?
No.
If you touch, you'll get really sick. Like we have to go. We have to go find this block. We have to find medicine. I don't know.
Okay, let's go. Am I going to die?
You might die.
What? But there's so many animals to buy.
Oh God.
You know, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where are you gonna lead her?
I think I'm going to let's see. I think is there well, I guess I would ask her, like, is there any place that would have medicine that we need to go to?
Probably Miss Blanc. She would know, I think.
Is Miss Blanc? Okay.
Whenever I got hurt, she would take care of it, so.
Oh. And you've never touched any of the other frogs before?
I like looking at them, but I usually don't touch them.
Okay. All right. Well. Okay. We're gonna find her. Don't worry. And I think at this point we're gonna walk around and look for the other party members.
Okay. Now, I'm coming back to you. At this point, this will be the final round of investigations.
Oh gosh.
So,
Yeah.
I'm going over to Viv. Viv.
Okay. So I'm gonna use my scene thing. It's called The Usual Suspects. You have a network of shady characters.
Mm-hmm.
My brothers.
Great.
They're willing to help you out when you need it, and their potentially illegal interests mean they can source just about anything. So I want them to get inside of this locked safe, if that's possible.
Okay. So your brothers, the three of them, work together on this safe, and like one of them is still like grumbling because they've worked so hard to gather all these necklaces and jewelry, and now they gotta, not only do they have to give it back, but they're doing your dirty work.
Yeah.
But they are able to crack open that safe, and inside the safe there seems to be like it looks to be like a copy of a master key.
A master key?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. All right, I'm definitely going to take that. That's going to be helpful, I think. And then I'm going to... I probably don't have anything to dust for fingerprints on this teapot, do I?
I wouldn't say so.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the whole basket though, so that the teapot can't disappear. And I'm gonna have the diary, the teapot, the master key, and I'm going to scour the room one more time. I don't think there's any other clues here, and then I'll probably leave.
Okay. I'd say like when you scour the room, you exit like looking, I'd say maybe after, because initially when you came in here, your eyes had to adjust a little bit. There was just the light of the one candle, but I imagine that your brothers, like in the process of decoding that vault, like it took enough time that your eyes have adjusted to the darkness, and you would see in the room of the Duchess, there is a little safe.
I'm gonna use the key on it.
You crack that open, and inside, first thing is a little framed portrait of Princess Cardamom III.
Of course.
And this one, it looks to be when the Duchess was quite a bit younger, perhaps in her 40s, and Princess Cardamom III at that point looked the same. But taking the frame underneath, you would see a stack of papers.
It's the will. I don't know this because everyone else probably knows this, but I'm going to take that just in case someone's going to try and steal that as well. Okay. I have everything in one basket, and I'm going to take a towel or something, and I'm going to cover it, and I'm just going to carry this, turn to my brothers. All right, yous all need to get out of here, all right? Out the window, whatever you did, get the fuck away from here.
Okay. We're going to see you next weekend. Reunion.
Of course I'm gonna be there. Don't ask stupid questions. You know what's happening. Go. This is not.
All right.
Not a friendly
Just good
visit.
to see you.
Shut the fuck up, Frankie. Get out of here.
Okay.
I love you.
Love ya.
I said hi.
Will do. All right. And I will give you another detail is that you look on the paper and you do see it is the will. And this will states that 90% of the inheritance will go to the local university, and 10% will go to Miss Esther Blanc for her hard work over the years.
Interesting. Does this look forged?
Why don't you?
I have all my sketchy brothers. They might know. It just seems awfully suspicious that there was this key in a safe in Miss Bianca's room, whatever her name is. Blanche. Thank you. I can't say her name, which is very in character, I guess, for Viv. And then like there's this will that is leaving 10% of her fortune, like a very non-suspicious amount, and there's nothing left to the dog. That's not real. That's not real at all. Hey, Kana, take a look at this, will you, quick?
And he climbs back into the window. All right. And he's gonna look at the will. He's gonna give it a big sniff and say, "Yeah, that's the legit stationery right there."
Okay, I don't care about the stationery. Tell me more about the ink. The dates, the legalese.
It looks good. It looks tight.
Interesting. All right. Well, not that I necessarily trust your eye, but thank you.
Why'd you call me if you didn't trust my eye?
Well, you just didn't say what I wanted you to say.
What did you want me to say? I'll say
I wanted
that
you to tell me
instead.
that it was a fake and a forge.
All right, it's a fake. It's a forge.
Now you're lying to me. You know that's a sin, right?
I can't with you, Viv. I'm jumping out this window again. Bye. See you next weekend.
Just like a swan dive out.
Okay, where are you going?
I'm gonna go try and find, like, I want to get away from other people's eyes, and I'm gonna try and find like a place where we can all meet up and discuss our findings.
Okay, great.
So I want to like establish a safe room for us to discuss.
Sounds good. safe room. Okay, you'd be able to do that. I'll come back to you.
Thank you.
Douglas.
Yeah.
So, bean cake.
Okay.
The dungeon.
Yeah, dungeon. State of progression right now. Just love the weirdness. Can I use? God, this is gonna be the weirdest sentence right now. Going into the dungeon.
Yes.
Can I use my scene Q chameleon? I'm used
Yeah.
to exploring places deemed as off limit and have learned to adapt to any environment. Can I use that as a form of being stealthy where Mysteria would not notice I'm going down in there?
Yeah.
And they probably would have a minute or two just to observe what they're doing before they notice me.
Okay, great. Yeah, you're absolutely able to slink down there, and you would see like as you come down, there's like one room in particular that is largely unfinished, almost it seems on purpose. And as you take the steps down, you would overhear her voice, and there's like the shadows seem to be dancing on the wall, as she has a few candles lit. And there's also like a little cauldron with a green flame. But you would note that it sounds like she is her emotions are mixed right now. But you would detect a little bit of a sob here and there.
Approach slowly before probably saying, Mysteria, hello? Are you okay?
Hello. I should be, but I didn't want to do this way.
In what way did you want this to happen?
And she grabs some papers and shows them and says, I think I know how to bring someone back to life. But I didn't want Mom to die so that I could try it.
Bit of a concerned look. Who specifically then were you hoping for that wasn't your mother?
It could have been anybody, but I guess I just didn't think about the journey. I thought about the destination of resurrection.
Would I recognize these papers at all? Like, are they from the school?
Yes, you would recognize that. It seems that, and I would say maybe some of them are from reference books, and she's ripped out pages from the university library, and so she's got like a bunch of these documents and like many calculations scrawled on different bits of parchment. But yeah, definitely.
Definitely aghast at ripping pages out of books. Just breaks my heart. Hysteria, I don't think you're the cause of your mother's sudden passing. I don't think that. Have you noticed anything strange or off about your sisters at all the past day or two?
Well, I did notice that it. I don't know if I should say this. Give me a bravado and persuasion.
One success. I got a 5 and then a 3 and a 2.
Okay. She's gonna say, well, I thought it was just for decoration. I
What
thought
was
it
for
was just a
decoration?
nice looking plant.
What plant specifically?
Um, it's a castor bean.
Out of curiosity, just off the top of my head, this wouldn't happen to be related to beans and cake, would it?
Yes.
Where did you read this? Again, I actually might have had a tiny taste of that cake. Where did you read about putting beans in cake?
I had heard that. I mean, it seemed like Mom was, struggling to get up sometimes, and I thought that maybe if she had a little more muscle.
I mean, I
Cake
see
is
a
the
lot.
only thing she really eats now. She's been having the
nothing
same
else?
cake for a couple years.
Is this the first time there's been a difference in texture or ingredients? Better way to put it.
No, I mean we had Miss Block putting the beans in for a couple years.
Wait, for a couple years, so this is not the first time.
No. And Mom would always have her cake. She'd always have Miss Blanc go. I mean, Miss Blanc would take it up all proud after she's put the whipped cream and everything, but then she would take one little dab at it with her finger and then ask Miss Blanc to heat it up.
Interesting. Okay. How many years now has this been going on?
I think I ordered the plant about 3 years ago, and we started putting beans in 2 years ago.
Okay then. Not at all the answers I was expecting. Fascinating. I'm just gonna say thank you and just kind of walk out a little befuddled. Can I just for the hell of it? I'm gonna take one last look around the space and just see if it's a strange room, but I want to see if anything weirder stands out.
I mean, there are jars of it seems like a mishmash of ingredients in and they're all labeled like different names. Like one is labeled Papa Blackwood. One is labeled Princess Cardamom II. Another is labeled. It seems like she's got a jar for every single one of her siblings as well as the Duchess.
Is there anything in the jars?
It's just a lot of different like herbs, maybe bits of wood. Every now and then there's like a little moldy bit of organic matter, maybe like a little bit of food that was left there for a very long time.
Before I leave, I would turn to Wisteria and just ask about the jars. Like, is there any particular reason for each one having their own thing? Yes. Or
I believe that if I am able to conduct the ritual, that I can bring everyone back when they pass on. And I'd like.
Oh, go ahead.
I'd like to try with Mom, but I just didn't think it would hit me so hard when she did die.
Completely understandable. Understood exactly. What specific ingredients did you put in your mother's jar?
Just the things that she loved. There's a little bit of fabric from some of her clothes. There's a little bit of tea. There's one mashed up cake. There's some doggy treats in there too.
I mean, the princess, by all means, understood. That's
Yeah.
definitely understandable.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll give it a shot later tonight.
Just definitely do that. Just thank you. I walk out in the most awkward situation possible.
And where are you
And
gonna
fair-
head? To the meeting place?
Before I do that, I have another scene cue I want to use, and it's
Oh.
probably not going to lead to anything, but I'm just curious. I have one that immediately just triggers my Avatar Airbender brain. Secret tunnel.
Yeah.
If there's
Oh.
anything you've learned on your adventures, is that every place has a secret underground passage or two. Use this knowledge to find a hidden passageway or secret room in any building.
Oh, so
Is
good.
there anything about this mansion that just stands out to me as like you can go from point A to point B and it's more of a surprising point A to point B, like you just don't expect it, but you can do that?
Yes. So I'd say like as you're leaving this area, you would note that there seems to be like a door that's just a little bit too small. Like one that if you were to crack it open, that you'd have to bend down to make your way in, Douglas. But you would note that when you crack that open, it leads into like a smaller passageway, and these tunnels, they seem to be able to get to specifically the study area. The like when you crack it open just a little bit, you would note that there is someone sitting before a fire reading a book, and it is Aurora Blackwood. And within this study area, there are a couple desks. There are some books. There's a globe here and there. But you would note that, like when you crack it open, you see the door, and the door is adorned with like there's no handle on the other side. It seems like it blends in with the wall. And now that you see the secret, you would see several of these sorts of entrances here.
Would you say they are princess size?
Oh, Princess would definitely be able to make it through here pretty well. Yeah.
I'm gonna note that, and I would. So they're interesting. Okay, I'm going to note that, and then go to try to find Viv.
Okay, great. I'll come back to you as we're all converging. Arthur.
All right. I would love to pick right back up after Patricia mentions her relationship with Grimsley being temporary.
Yes.
And I think Arthur takes another step closer, kind of starts like twirling the cane in her hands. Temporary. Might be time to think of making something lasting, Dollface. You and I, we're kindred spirits, artists trying to make our way in the world, currently floating through the ether. I think about my books, how my art kept me from a lasting connection, keeping everything else temporary. And then I realized, too, that even my books would be temporary in most ways that count. Because if no one reads them, they're as good as unwritten, aren't they? So what is our legacy in the end, after the ages have buried us in our work? And I would like to use my scene cue, Existential Crisis. Where your mind constantly pursues universal truths and questions the world around you. You share this experience with someone until you make them question their place in the world and everything they thought to be true.
Yeah. Great. And like as with every sentence, you're just unraveling the layers and layers of her facade. and you're seeing just a little bit more emotion, and until eventually that smooth, sultry confidence has been pulled away. And she says, "Then what do I even do in this world? What does it matter?"
She'll step forward and use her cane to tip her chin up and go, You live life to the best as you can, and you tell the truth always. Is there anything else you might want to tell me?
Yes. In the course of living here and partying with Grimsley, there was always one person that was kind. There was always one person that would listen to me. And that was Miss Block. It didn't matter what I asked for, she would always do it. And initially, I played with that to see how far she would go, but then I felt bad because she genuinely wanted to help, to serve, and would listen to anything that I said.
And she gave that same kindness to her mistress?
Yes. To the point of heating up cake with whipped cream already on it.
That is an interesting factoid.
Yeah. It was a soupy, goopy mess. But she ate it.
But did that make Miss Blanc mad? The fact that her cake needed to be warmed up? A little bit of slap in the face a bit.
No, because Miss Blanc saw the look on the Duchess's face when she was eating it, when she was like spooning it.
That is a kind soul.
Yes.
We could all learn a little from Miss Blanc, it seems. And then I think she will drop the cane down. And it will land somewhere between Patricia's legs, and she'll kind of press it on the inner thigh of Patricia and lean forward. And she'll go, "Do not mistake me, doll. I can also be fun when I want to be." Then she'll like give her a little kiss on the cheek and then make her way out of the room.
Oh! The fadeaway cheek kiss. Let's go.
And as I leave, I would love to do another one of my scene cues if I can.
Yeah.
Which is Wanderer. And so I would like to, as I'm kind of mulling over the thoughts of all of these little bits of intel, the scene cue is you find that the best thing to do when you're at a loss is to let yourself wander. You follow your artistic soul, and somehow you end up at the exact place you need to be. The director will lead you to a new location.
Okay, great. So, as you're wandering, as you're walking about with this new information and with having left Patricia on the bed with a kissed cheek, well, you find yourself in, I'd say at this point, a few rooms down, and the door's cracked open just a little bit. And when you peek inside, you would see a lot of novels. Many novels that make you recoil in disgust.
Oh God, Aurora Blackwood.
Yes, these are all the novels of Aurora Blackwood. Many versions, like first edition, like there's like a section labeled autographed,
Ugh.
and like the first edition autographed ones are in like a glass case, and this is very clearly Aurora Blackwood's room.
In kind of seeing through the crack, is Aurora inside?
She is not.
I would love to look down the hall, make sure no one else is spotting me, and then slip into the room.
Okay. All right. I'll come back to you in a minute. Froglet.
Yes.
So,
I
I believe your intention was to be able to confer with your allies, but is there anything that you might want to talk with Chartreuse about en route?
Yes, and I was thinking about it. I think I want to ask her some questions because the more I think about things, the more I'm getting more suspicious of her.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I never. Okay, so Froglet never went to where the body was, so he doesn't know which room it's in, right?
Right.
Okay, so I think while walking, he might be looking for like an area to be in. Let me see. Can I use my CQ hidden nooks and crannies?
Yes.
Okay.
Would you read that out for me, please?
Yes. You're familiar with hiding spots and passageways. Use this to your advantage and find a hidden passageway or a secret room.
Oh, okay. So you're able to spot it. It takes you a moment to figure it out, but you're able to find the little slot. You open it up, and it's like as you open it, you see. I'd say in this point, Douglas is making his way out of another passageway, and you kind of meet each other, like you meet eyes at a T intersection, and Chartreuse is gonna say, "Oh, that's the little doggy tunnel that was built. I mean, only the princess and Aurora use that."
Only the princess and Aurora. What does princess use this passageway for?
Just to get to places. I wish I could mind read princess. That'd be very helpful.
I guess it's nice to know that you all like the dog.
Yeah. I like playing with her. I don't know what she eats, though.
Oh.
Maybe beans?
Not a good animal owner. Probably was going to take that note to himself. Be like, this person should not own any animal ever. And so, okay, I want to get to some kind of area where I am pretty confident we won't be overheard.
Yeah, so at this point, I would say you happen upon Douglas. Chartreuse calls that out. Viv, as you are looking for a little side conference room, you're able to find one, and you would overhear Chartreuse because she isn't really one to, dial down the volume. And you would probably hear just at a lower decibel Froglet, and Douglas would. I mean, I imagine when you see the lights pour in from where Froglet has opened that little hidden passage door as well, that you'd all be able to connect there.
What's going on in here?
the three of you can discuss a quick thing. Chartreuse is probably going to. I mean, if you want her to stick around, she can. But otherwise, she'll probably go for some cake.
Yeah, I want to kind of ask her some questions still, because I mean, she still
Okay.
thinks that she needs help too, right? Because of the
Right.
frog.
Okay. Yeah. She can stick around.
Cool.
So, the three of you. Is there anything you'd like to discuss real quick?
I would look at the two of you and just say, so, obviously, there's some form of secret tunnel work going on, but that's not the weirdest thing. Like, the cake is the weirdest thing. I've never heard of a cake like this in my entire life.
The cake. You should see the greenhouse. Those frogs, that was terrible.
Oh
They
no, how
have
bad
some
were the frogs? Are they okay?
I mean, they won't be in a few hours, and then he's gonna go into
Oh, no.
detail about how to take care of the frogs better and what they need. And
Froglet, you know that I love it. It's riveting when you tell me all about frog stuff.
riveting, yes.
I love that.
Lucky coin, baby!
Hey, get that lucky coin.
Yes.
However, we do have a murder to solve, and Bonds and Noble are trying to get ahead of us. So maybe we save frog facts for when we're having a victory dinner. And is that okay with you? Is that all right?
Yeah, you know, speaking of victory and dinner and eating things, I think that you might want to be around for something because you're feeling hurt, right, Chartice? Like you, right? The frog?
Yeah, I'm gonna die.
Yep. I mean, no,
What?
because we're gonna help you.
I touched a frog.
And real quick, okay, I'm not sure how this ability works, but so what I want to do is like show the bottle and say that like I found something that might be medicine, but I want to use second sight to kind of gauge what her reaction is going to be when I show her.
Oh, okay. So when you show her and say it's medicine, she'll be like, "Why have you been holding that from me?" And she's gonna try to reach for it.
Oh god. Okay. And so like I have knowledge of that, right? Like that hasn't happened yet, but it would
Right.
happen if I did it.
Right. She's like reaching for it, but
Oh, dang. That's not what I thought she was gonna do.
I will say this.
Yeah.
With this moment frozen in time, reaching for this vial, I'm gonna pop back over to Arthur real quick. Arthur,
Yes.
as you're poking around,
Mm-hmm.
you would hear the door behind you open. And Aurora says, "What are you doing here?"
Ah, so you've arrived. I was waiting for you.
Oh,
Yes, I thought I'd check in on you, see how you're feeling after the recent departure of your mother.
well, I decided to take a little walk to recollect my thoughts. As the oldest, I have to stay strong for everyone.
Yes, through a tiny door in the wall, it seems. Just take little walks through the... Is that where she came from, or did she come from the door? I thought she came
from the main door. Into
Oh, from
her
the main
room.
door. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, great. Then,
Mhm.
yes. Yes, well, sometimes that's what you need to clear your mind. How are you, feeling about, things regarding, well, you know, little things that when people pass, like wills and other some such?
Well, I have no idea what's on the will, so
Hmm.
I don't know what to feel about that, other than devastated at the passing of my mother.
Hmm. Are you so?
Yes, but I it's fortuitous that I found you because I have to inform you that it seems your rivals have an announcement to make. It
Oh.
seems that they have found the culprit. And along the same lines, Viv, Douglas, Froglet, you three are going to hear a um, loud yell as the familiar voices of Barnes and Noble are calling out, saying, "We know who did it! We found the culprit! Come one, come all! We will announce it in the front room." And on that note, we're going to take a second break. A little break before we reach our conclusion. Thank y'all so much for being here. We will be back. Hey y'all, welcome back to our game of the Flabbergasted expansion, Mystified. Murder in the Mansion. And oh my goodness, our heroes here have found a mountain of evidence. And they're ready to present, but it seems that, well, someone else has slipped in and announced loudly, proudly to the entire mansion that they believe they have the right answer. At which point, Arthur, you were having a one on one with Aurora. Aurora will slyly, like she was probably leaning against the door frame, slyly shift off and then walk away from you towards where the commotion is happening. Viv, Douglas, Froglet, um, all three of you, with Chartreuse, Chartreuse wanting to grab hold of the vial, but well, I I I believe y'all aren't allowing her to.
Mm-hmm.
And she gets distracted by that loud call, and everyone is back in that main room where at the bottom of the large staircase, and Barnes and Noble. Barnes looks over at Noble and does like a, and Noble is like, "What? Oh!" And he runs over to the light switch to turn off the light, and then
Ah,
he moves back over with the lamp, turns on the lamp, and then the two of them stand there proudly and say, "We believe it was Miss Blanc because she got tired of all this shit and she didn't want to work here anymore." And the two of them stand back to back, and everyone is silent. You would hear crickets from outside.
Wow.
What?
That's actually embarrassing that you would come up with
yeah.
such a lame and horrific conclusion.
I
Hear,
would
hear.
slow clap.
Yeah.
We have one supporter.
No, this
That's
is
not
more out of
support.
like, wow, that's just wow.
It's called
Subtle hints
sarcasm.
there.
I believe Douglas would give you an F on that. Am I
Yeah,
correct,
you would
Professor?
not pass my course at all.
Well, if you're so smart, who do you think did it?
Hmm.
Well, before we get into that, can you please turn on the normal lights? I literally can't see anything but you, and I would love to see everyone.
Yes, Noble. sprints over.
Don't
You'd hear you'd hear him slide across the floor as he trips over the red carpet.
Too late.
No, it's okay. I'm fine. I'm fine. And then
Wish
he
you weren't.
flips.
I worry about
the
the
light
safety of borders so much.
and the lights are back on. What would you like to
Before
do?
we get into our discussion, and just looks at like the two of them like that is so much better than theirs by a mile. Is anyone thirsty? I could easily get us some cake and tea to help settle us down a bit to talk this through.
Yes, most definitely. Cake and tea for everyone, I think.
On it. And I go off to get that. When I do that, does anyone's face or like expression show a sign of like recognition or more just like, oh no?
Not at the moment. At the moment, it seems like everyone is still in shock, recoiling from the guess that Barnes and Noble had sent out there. At the moment, it seems everyone is chill. So you are able to go get tea and wheel out that big cart of cake as well.
Yep, and it's the exact teapot. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
During this lull, can I take a look at the vial?
Yes, absolutely.
Now I have this cool thing called Well Read, and I have specific bits of like strong knowledge, and one of them is codes and ciphers. Is there anything significant about this vial?
Yes. The vial says in a code, Grimsley.
Interesting. Very, very interesting. Okay.
There we go.
Oh,
So, the tea is distributed.
And it's the exact same teapot.
Yes, yes. And everyone takes a sip. There's no hesitation. But when the cake is handed out, Aurora says, "Oh, none for me. I'm watching my figure."
Are you sure? It's high in protein.
Yes, I could do with a little less protein. Thank you.
We could heat it up for you, just like your mother liked.
That sounds disgusting.
But your mother was always preferred that, didn't she? That's what I've heard from quite a few people.
Did she? In this moment, Miss Blanc is gonna say, "Oh, I should have told you, dear, when you served her cake that day that she liked to heat it up. I'm sorry."
So who was that? Did anybody protest to eating or drinking?
Aurora.
Aurora
protested to
did. Okay.
eating the cake.
That's so not what I was expecting.
oh gosh.
Okay. But no one's flinching at the teapot.
No one's flinching at the teapot.
Okay. Well, if you wants it warmed up, we can warm up some cake for you, Aurora, either the way your mother liked.
And you'll all notice that she suddenly has like a really wide-eyed look on her face. And she says, "Yes, please, warm mine up."
Before we do that, I think we probably want to move on. Yeah, we would love to warm that up for you, but we're in a bit of a rush here. There's a murder to solve. Maybe we should move on to the next stage of our explanation.
me, I think. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so in our investigation, Froglet is eyeing Chartreuse?
Chartreuse.
Chartreuse, if she's in the room. We found a lot of interesting things. We found frogs, lots of them, and he's gonna kind of give her an eye. But what we found most interesting was a little vial and some secret passageways. And seeing as the last thing she ate, or last things we drank and ate that we know of, was tea and cake, we have our suspicions about those items and their contents.
And when you mentioned the vial, as far as reactions go, at this point, like I'd say like the cake was all like dished up onto plates, but I mean everyone seems more focused on what you're saying. When the vial comes out, everyone seems pretty surprised at that. And Wisteria is gonna say, "Who took one of my vials?"
Are you saying
Anyone?
that you know what's inside?
No. But I've been missing a vial.
Wait a second. If it's your vial, why has it got Grimsley's name all over it?
Grimsley? And Grimsley is gonna scoff and be like, "What are you talking about? Why would I play with your vials? I drive fast cars."
Interesting.
Fast.
Drive fast cars.
Grimsley, I like your styles, I gotta say. When you say fast cars, I like fast cars, but I need you to shut up for a minute. Thank you. My good friend Arthur, I think, has something to say.
That's right. Well, with every good case, we have to eliminate a certain number of suspects and narrow ourselves down to the real culprits of the thing. After some investigations amongst the four of us, I believe we have taken one Chartreuse off our list, as she doesn't seem to know much about anything. No offense, doll. But let's just put it out there as it is. Seems to be an easy person to flag as an individual who has access to possible poisons via her special little frog friends. Also, conveniently stashing a vial over there, one she has no recollection of whatsoever. And honestly, couldn't seem to access based on how Froglet described the parrot encounter. No access to that area, it seems. We've also eliminated one young Wisteria. Though she was smiling upon the news of her mother's death, which seems strange to me, upon further discussion with Douglas, our professor here, it seems that she does have a genuine upset around her mother's death and honestly has motivations for resurrecting everyone anyway. So it seems like that's pretty much a dead end there. But
Not for long.
Yes, there we go, Wisteria. Good on you. You will resurrect someone, I believe it. Onward. Let's see. Our lovely friends Barnes and Noble decided that Miss Blanc would be the one who did this all. Well, certainly, one would look at a poison teapot of, possible poison tea, other such things that Miss Blanc would be handling, and one would think, why, yes, this is put in her room. This is certainly her doing. So convenient. Honestly, a little sloppy. And I'll look over to Aurora. And I believe that narrows down. I would say one Patricia is also eliminated from this list. Probably the least motivating factor here, unless a certain other person, kind of eyeing Grimsley, has any access to an inheritance, which is really what this all comes down to. Is it not?
And
Viv, what do you think?
Well, Grimsley is going to chime in and say, "What? She cut me out a long time ago."
As in your mother cut you out or Patricia cut you out?
My mother.
Oh, yes. You knew of that. You knew that your mother cut you out of the will.
Yeah, she
How's
told
that?
me.
Yes, and didn't you want to do something about it, Grimsley?
No. As long as she's alive, I can still suckle from the golden teat.
Don't say that. Don't say that ever again.
Don't.
Why?
Grimsley, I need to take you to the university to learn better etiquette and verbiage. By all means, please. I will give you a free course.
I want to use, before I hand it off to Viv, my last scene cue, a different perspective. You have a creative way of looking at the world. When concocting a plan, the director will offer up some unique approaches you might want to consider or point out an interesting and overlooked detail.
Okay. So, one detail. And I wouldn't say overlooked, but it's definitely one that has been at the forefront of our minds, is the bean cake and the nature of the bean itself. Castor bean, also known as Ricinus communis, typically used to make like a type of oil, but can be toxic.
Ooh. When not cooked. Isn't that it?
Well,
When not heated up.
once it reaches a certain temperature,
Yes.
it is no longer toxic.
Guys, we just poisoned everyone in the room.
Yep. It's in large doses, and they're gonna be fine.
No, they took very tiny bites. They're fine. It's not
Exactly. It
gonna-
took her. It took. Yes.
I made sure of it. It's the tiny piece. Like, nope, you only take one little nibble. That's all you all do.
I think as I'm like eyeing the cake and like seeing that around and like slowly moving through these clues and trying it, like we haven't fully gotten there yet, and I'm like, wait a second. You know, we got so stuck on the heating of the cake up, and she didn't heat the cake up, and she doesn't want to eat the cake, and her mother died. And when we offered her to eat the cake, she was going to heat it up. I'm going to turn to Viv. One moment, please. And I will whisper those details to you.
Arthur, I could
Yes.
kiss you.
You know, I would welcome it.
You see a look of jealousy on Patricia's face.
Oh.
Okay. Well, you know what? I think that we've spent enough of those times. Let's go ahead and get to the heart of the matter here. As we've said, there's a lot of people that this couldn't be, which was odd because there was a bunch of information that was sort of pointing in many different directions. A lot of people were set up in this situation. It was Wisteria's vial. It had Grimley's name on it. There was the frogs with chartreuse and the evidence planted in Bianca's room. Your name's Bianca, right? I've been calling you that all day.
Miss Blanc, babe.
Miss Blanc. My bad. My bad. I'm sorry.
That's fine,
It's close
dear.
enough.
You're going through a lot of information.
You are so understanding. I appreciate that about you. Okay,
Yes, would you like some cake?
stop with the cake.
Oh,
Just for a minute.
We're all
everyone
good on
stop eating the
and I'm
cake!
actually going to, as Viv's talking, I'm like, you know what? I think we've all had enough cake. I'm going to get back into the kitchen.
And you know what? It's just so interesting because this all boils down to a simple, humble bean. The castor bean. Did you know that the castor bean can be deadly when consumed in large amounts, if not heated to the proper temperature? And there was one person in this room who refused to eat the cake until it was heated into the correct temperature. Aurora, why'd you do this to your mother? Your mother.
And at this point, with the fingers pointed at Aurora, I'm gonna need some rolls now. Because with the answer presented, with the culprit in mind, let me go through some of the clues you were able to obtain.
Oh, gosh.
You obtained the poison vial, which is, in this case, you'll get to roll 2d6. You've obtained the will, so you'll get another 2d6. You've obtained the you were at least very least able to see and then find the jars as far as the resurrection papers and whatnot. Another 2d6. And for discovering the cake and the gruesome contents within, that's another 2d6. So,
Ooh.
I will need each of you to roll 2d6. It'll be under the same rules as a regular thing. So, if you happen to have a lucky coin, you can use it here as well. So, I'm going to go from each of you to see how many successes y'all got. And I have a target number to see, well, how good of an ending y'all get. So, Viv.
Okay, I think that I'm going to use my lucky coin that I got for ribbiting.
Sounds good. Sounds
Yep.
good.
So that just counts as one of my dice as a success, right? And then I roll the other two?
So you'll have to flip a coin
Oh,
or
right.
roll a die and choose odds or evens. So it's
Odds.
a 50% chance instead.
I got even.
Oh,
Okay.
no.
Okay, roll 2 dice.
Yes.
You got this.
I got a 5 and a 4.
Okay, that is
I have the 5 as well.
one success. Did I hear Arthur got one success as well?
No, I was just being excited about the one success.
Okay. Okay, great. Hey,
Sorry.
We love it. Okay, Douglas.
All right.
You have a
worst
lucky
case, I
coin,
don't
my
get a
friend?
success. Oh yeah, I'm gonna spend the lucky coin. I actually
Great.
will flip a coin, so I'm gonna call heads.
You got it.
Tails.
Oh. Go down to the wire.
Double fours.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh, God.
Okay, Arthur.
I
Two
got no
dice.
lucky coin. So, 2 dice. A 3 and a 1.
Oh, no.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Froglet, it's all up to you.
Froglet, we believe in you.
Okay. This is what.
The
Okay.
power of the frogs.
Question.
Yes.
Because I rolled. I got a 6 and a 4, but can I use my C&Q to automatically succeed on a failed roll?
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's 2 successes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Great. So,
I'm so nervous.
with
Yes.
that, we have a total of 3 successes.
Oh, jeez.
And as far as clues go, as far as the complexity goes, I did ramp this up a little bit for the sake of y'all being amazing. Normally the complexity would be 4, which means you would need 2 points. I ramped it up to a complexity of 6, which means you need 3 points. Which y'all got.
Nice.
Froglet!
So,
Thank you, Froglet. Oh my
Froglet
god.
was the hero of
Yes.
the story.
MVP.
Oh,
Power of the
so good.
frogs.
Now.
in
Very
this
nice.
case, when you went through all the evidence, pointed the finger at Aurora initially has the same dismissive look and tries to like scoff at her siblings. And the others are looking at her wide-eyed, mouths agape. And she says, "You can't seriously believe this, can you?"
Oh,
And-
honey. Oh, honey. You're the oldest of many children. I know what that's like. You know exactly how to use them. You know all of their weaknesses and all of their strengths, so setting them up would have been so easy for you. Just give it up. You've been caught.
But this is all hearsay right here. There's no policeman here. And at that moment, the front doors bust down as Gerald comes in.
Oh.
And he says, "I'm sorry. I couldn't. They wouldn't let me in earlier. I guess my name wasn't on the list. But because I got worried about you guys, I decided to contact the police. And a gentleman with a tall constable's hat with a like almost like a broom mustache steps forward and says, "We heard everything, including what you just said," pointing to Aurora. And Aurora, at this point, that careful facade breaks down, and she tries to run. Now, when she does, she has that long flowing dress. She's trying to run up the steps, but she's so caught up in wanting to get away that she's not watching until the very last minute. She notices a little white blur of a figure, which causes her to tumble back down as y'all hear a meow from Borders.
Borders!
Ooh.
Precious
And-
orders for the win.
And as Borders looks down at the top of the steps, looking down upon the now tumbling Aurora, she is handcuffed and taken away for the murder of her mother, the Duchess Clementine. And for all of you, well, the rest of the children come to you, and each of them, in their own little way, say, "Thank you. I'm not still gonna die, right? I touched the frog."
I'm sorry. That was a lie. That was a
Good.
complete lie.
That was a good lie.
Oh,
Whew.
okay.
I'm not gonna die. That's a great lie.
You're a strange individual.
And Wisteria is gonna say, "Oh well, I guess I could still try on Mom. All right." Because it seemed like she was kind of eyeing Chartreuse as a as a resurrection target. And Grimsley is going to he's gonna look a little sad, but then he'll go over to Douglas and say, "You know what? I think I'll take up your offer of a little education.
It's never a bad thing to do. Trust me. Using the correct words is always a good thing.
Yeah." And Patricia is gonna go up to Arthur and say, "I've got a lot of thinking to do, but I know where to find you."
That you do, Songbird. That you do.
Arthur, you dog.
Oh.
What can I say? I only get riper with age.
I do like it.
Arthur, I just look at you and I'd probably just say, another mystery to solve, huh?
No way.
And to wrap everything up, Chartreuse is going to enlist the help of Froglet to care for all of these animals, because clearly she cannot. And at that point, all of y'all have solved the murder in the mansion. And that
Yay.
is the end of our game, y'all. Oh my
Yay!
goodness. Y'all are fantastic. Holy crap.
You're
Thank
so
you.
good.
Thank you so much. Look, let me start from the top. Before I have everyone do their final sign offs. First off, big thank you to Fleur and Chelsea of the Wanderer's Tome for creating such an amazing game and allowing us to play it. Potentially the very first stream of this expansion. Holy crap!
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it was so much fun. Thank you so much. I'm gonna drop some links for anyone that wants to get the game Flabbergasted, and also get notified for Mystified, where you know what, I'm pumped. I'm ready. I'm so ready for it to drop on backer kit. Oh my goodness. And then big thank you to y'all in the audience. Especially for creating all the problems. Oh my goodness, that that gave me a lot of joy to be able to toss little things like that in. So I appreciate y'all. Thank you for tuning in. Y'all are absolutely amazing. And finally, to the stars. My cast, thank y'all so much for joining me. Y'all have been absolutely amazing, but I knew you would be. I've played with y'all before, and y'all always deliver. So, before we sign off, I'm gonna have each of our cast. Y'all, who are you? Who have you been tonight? And where can people find you? Starting with M with Nate on deck.
My name is M. You can find me as Anthrama, or you can go to my home channel, Level 1 Geek. We are a blogging and content creating where we do actual plays and edutainment about how to get into this beautiful hobby of TTRPGs. Because you don't need to have a nerd degree to start playing these games. You can start at level 1, just like the rest of us. I have played Viv tonight, and it has been an absolute pleasure. Thanks, Matt.
Thank you, M. Now let's go over to Nate with Caitlin on deck.
Hi everyone, my name is Nate, pronouns he, him. I played Douglas, pronouns he, him. I'm still thinking about beancake, sorry. I tend to do a lot of GMing over on a channel called High Shelf Collective. I'm currently GMing a game that Matt is in called Die RPG. It's ostensibly Goth Jumanji. It's very emotional. I don't know how to describe it better than that. Our finale is on the 30th. And outside of that, I'm a photographer. I used to be a costume and makeup designer for theater. You can find me online, Nate_B on the site that looks like this for a letter, or at Indie Nate on Instagram. Thanks all. This was fun.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Nate. Let's go over to Caitlin with Milo on deck.
Hey everybody, I'm Caitlin. I played Arthur tonight. What a delight to do that with you all. It was so great playing with you. I would love to do it again. You can find me at KKenny Plays. That's KKENNEY Plays on Linktree, Twitter, Instagram. For any of your writing, storytelling, dramaturgical, etc. needs. Happy to be there. Yeah, thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Caitlin. Now let's go over to Milo.
Hello. You can find me at Battastic on YouTube. I post all kinds of stuff. I'm holding a controller because I want to post games soon. I just do whatever is fun, to be honest. You can find me at itch.io as Bluebug Arcade. I make games sometimes. And I have played Froglet, my little frog weirdo. I like playing weird characters. And I always have fun with you, Matt. You're fantastic. Thank you for inviting me. I have loved getting to meet everybody.
Awesome. Y'all were absolutely astounding. I'm Matt. I've been everyone else. I've been a murderer and innocence. And I'm just happy to have been able to share this experience with y'all. And oh my gosh, I can't wait for the next one. Y'all have been so wonderful. I'm going to be setting up a little raid, but I'll be rating Trooper SJP. I'm not 100% sure which tabletop game they're playing, but I know that they rock and roll every single time. So I'll set that up. So please stick around. But well, while I take us to the thank you for watching, y'all, this is goodbye from all of us. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.